has been a feature of Ronnie this week. Been on walkabout, not jumping in early to any shot with complication to it. Some reds spread apart, but sort of covering one another. So trying to make a play on them, and that will do, but how does he get the black into play off this red?
Just a moment, please.
She's going to sit down and allow our referee Olivia Martil to get the pink into position here. All spots occupied. Goes as close as it can in line with the spots to its own spot.
Thank you. 18.
Been a fantastic week here in Manchester. First time at Manchester Central. We'll be back next year. Really contributed to the atmosphere and therefore the snooker these guys have played.
19.
This feels a big early shot in this final. Because I'm sure even Ronnie O'Sullivan gets a few butterflies working out to play, but he dispatched that very nicely.
24.
Yeah, it was a beautiful shot. Now he has half ball green or brown if he wants it.
25.
It's the brown. Perfect. If he wants to attack the cluster. Lots of value in it. Potentially. Yeah, not this time.
29.
Okay, only 29.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 29.
But there was so much quality in that little cameo, opening cameo from the great man.
Well, we saw yesterday Williams' safety against Mark Allen in that first session was just exemplary. He just kept him out. There's so much tablecraft, so much knowledge, isn't there, between these two? It's actually the oldest combined age in a ranking final. Williams 49, O'Sullivan 48. Spoke really well about each other in the interviews with Rob beforehand. So Williams played good safety, and Sullivan caught the blue, attempting to get the white back to ball.
One.
Wasn't just the safety that was great yesterday, though, was it? It was making the most of the chances when he forced them. Made 3 centuries in the match against Mark Allen. He is a remarkable character, Mark Williams, just the way he is. Right before this match, he would have been laughing and joking with people. It'd be the same when it's over. It's just that when he's out there actually playing, he's as intense as anybody. He doesn't show it necessarily outwardly, But make no mistake, this would be a massive win for him today if he could defeat his old rival. Remember, it's 33-9 to O'Sullivan on the head-to-head, pretty one-sided.
I don't know if that was a bad contact or not, but
14.
wanted the red to the same pocket, so it's just the plant. Be careful with this. Nicely done.
15.
In actual fact, it's worked in his favour because he's now got the black in play if and when he desires.
$21. Thank you. 22. $28. $29. $35. Thank you. 36.
Just a
40.
hair short of ideal pace, but they will be promoting the other red. Can't quite manage it, but a good pot and a good angle on the black to perhaps promote it this time round. Black for 22 in front, so 2 more reds with high value colours to win the frame at this visit. It's funny the way he goes about it, isn't it? Most players there would have attacked.
51.
Red on the cushion, but he's deciding to pick them off, as is his way.
$52. $58.
Clearly this is the key shot now. He needs pink or black off the red, so the red is the ball that you feel is going to win him the frame if it goes in. Well, he played a good safety. He forced an opening. And it
59.
looks like he's made the most of it. What he was doing yesterday afternoon against Mark Allen. One snooker required here. 37 the difference, 35 available.
66.
One thing he can't be doing here is leaving the red on for Ronnie. He's got to keep this safe with those baulk colours as they are.
Mark Williams, 66.
Hasn't quite got the snooker.
So a chance to put the frame away for good. Yeah, great start this from the Welshman. His family are here, wife Joanne and their 3 sons. Young lad Joel, very promising player himself. He's had some success already, looking to continue the family dynasty. But Mark Williams clearly has some way yet to run in his career, judging by the way he's played this week. Go back to the first round, that clearance against Tom Ford was the start of it. Beat Judd Trump, beat Mark Allen.
Mark Williams,
2 multiple
7.
winners of titles this season. He's playing another in Ronnie O'Sullivan. And Mark Williams has won the opening frame. It's first to 10 to become Tour Championship winner. He leads 1-0. Ten years since Williams beat O'Sullivan in a ranking event. That was the International Championship out in China. He did beat him, though, last year at the Masters. High profile event, of course, in front of the big London crowd. 6-5 in a thriller.
Yeah, Mark said in his pre-match chat, didn't he, that he was going to come out and be aggressive. He wants to play this long red, but it doesn't get any tougher in terms of a pot. Awkward bridging and queuing.
Foul.
Yeah, so the intent is
O'Sullivan
clear. He's as good as his word. He's determined to be aggressive. That was risky. Now then. Sort of shot Ronnie practices pretty much every morning. This is part of his routine, this shot. Potted one not dissimilar late on against Gary Wilson. Ooh, he was after it. It would have felt good and it looked good, didn't it? Halfway there. Not quite.
1.
Again, he's looking to press with the brown to the left corner. It's the left middle pocket.
Mark Williams 1.
That'll be noted by O'Sullivan. That pretty much anything sticking out today, Mark is going to have a pop at.
Foul. Mark Williams 4.
In the end, it was a little fortunate on Mark's part to leave it bolt straight the red. Ronnie couldn't do an awful lot with it, especially at pace.
Yeah, it's a bit of a wide, that one. But again, you know, that red could easily finish near a pocket. It went safe. This was the attempt from Williams, and he himself demonstrated what he thought of it.
One.
Surprised he didn't go deeper in the cue ball and try to avoid contact in the black.
Black ball. Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
And Ronnie's left a gap here if Mark wants to take this red on the left.
Foul and a miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
Yeah, just looking for the thin edge.
Up.
I mean, whoever had got through to the final, it would have been a great occasion, but it's just something about these two legends. The thing is, neither have got anything to prove But at the same time, they still keep proving it. O'Sullivan's won 5 titles this season. Williams, the British Open, which was a very memorable affair with Mark Selby. As they sort this cue ball out. Queenie Lou, who's helping Olivia Martial.
Okay.
More. And a little bit this side. Yeah.
Mark? Ronnie? Thank you.
Yeah, that's the edge he was looking for. First meeting as pros was in the qualifiers for the Welsh Open 94, as was mentioned in the studio. So we're going back 30 years. The other member of the triumvirate, John Higgins, of course, beat them both, didn't he, in the World Masters, the junior event, when they were all 15 back in 91. That was the first sign the three of them could together come forward as something special.
Foul and a miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Ronnie,
worth noting,
thank
you
you.
can see the red full ball. No problem this time. Yeah, Mark actually has a pot on. This is aggressive taking this one. Yeah, the problem with that one, you've no idea where the reds are going to finish. And has he left one? I was thinking one of the reds more central there. I played it some kind of shot to nothing. Will Ronnie make him pay?
One. 8. 9.
Just wriggled in again. Evidence of Ronnie having a bit of a perusal.
14.
There's the average shot time, 25 seconds. O'Sullivan. Early doors, but
15.
clear so far that the aggressor in this match has been Mark Williams. This is where, as we know, Ronnie does his best work when he gets in close. It's the first, what he would call a proper chance to loosen the arm and get himself going.
21.
Yeah, 3 centuries in the tournament for O'Sullivan. He's the quickest player on tour, 17 seconds across the season per shot. But every match, indeed every final, has a different feel to it, depending on who you're playing and their history with them, what they're capable of, what they've shown themselves during the week. O'Sullivan keeps an eye on matches. He knows how people are playing, what they're doing.
It's a great point you make, Dave, because you think back a few months to that Masters final.
28.
It was all guns blazing the first session, wasn't it? Today, totally different. That's a lovely shot.
29.
But as we know, these guys, they know every move to make and when to make it. Can change up their game like the wind, as and when required. But yeah, just feeling his way into this final so far, Ronnie. Key shot this. Nicely on a red. Should win the frame. Oh, that was a beautiful little nudge on the red, wasn't it? Just to help it round the
34.
corner.
$35. 40.
Well, you still fancied him for that, but the break it
Ronnie O'Sullivan,
unraveled a
40.
little bit, hadn't it? You know, he's wrong side of the blue, so he's always leaving a mid-distance red. Kind of fancy him for most pots, but can go in. He's just not quite yet settled into the match. A lot of that is to do with his opponent, I think, the way he's playing. And not the worst nudge. He's on the brown to the middle. Good pot. Good lead already. Good chance to make it one each.
5. Thank you. 6.
One more red needed after the blue. So it's not been a clinical kill necessarily, but he will be getting chances today, won't he? Because Williams is going for pretty much everything. He's not going to get everything. So the question
12.
is, can O'Sullivan, when the chances come along, do the business? The other side of that, of course, if Williams does start to get them, he's going to be dangerous. It's just a fascinating match, this. One thing's for sure, though, Mark Williams, and Ronnie knows this, he's not
17.
intimidated by O'Sullivan. A lot of people are, including other top players. Mark Williams, you cannot rattle him, no matter who you are. That stays out, so it's 2 snookers needed.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 17.
Well, he caught that all wrong, so the red is on, and the frame surely is done. O'Sullivan has once before won 6 titles in a season, 2000, 2001. In fact, one of them was the China Open against Williams. But there's been something about this season, because there's so many tournaments now and he's not played in all of them, the fact that his strike rate of actually winning
4.
compared to how many events he plays in is remarkable. Already 5 trophies, big ones he's collected.
5.
If he wins this title, it'll go to 1.3 million for the season, with the World Championship still to come.
$12. 13.
Yeah, and if he won today, O'Sullivan, it would be 5 of his last 7 events. If you take aside the Championship League, which he played only 1 day of, and I think it was just a practice session more than anything. But
20.
he's won 4 of his last 6.
Thank you. 21.
Yeah, I mean, we've kept saying throughout the season, you know, you've got to stand up to him. But even if you do, it doesn't mean you'll win, because he can respond. Gary Wilson certainly stood up to him, didn't he? We saw the finish there. Ding at the UK Championship. Stood up to him from 7 each again.
28.
Brilliant burst to the line.
30. 33. 37.
Well, he's surely settled into the match now.
Foul. Ronnie
Yeah,
O'Sullivan,
in the
37.
end, he rather dominated that frame. Williams is certainly taking
Ronnie
his shots
O'Sullivan.
on. Didn't get them in that one. And so the Tour Championship final in the very early stages is level at 1 frame each. All square, 1
you,
each,
Ronnie.
8 frames in the afternoon.
Thank you.
First
Take
to
your
10
seats,
tonight
please.
to become champion.
The third frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
It was a nice 66 from Williams in the first frame and 2 visits from O'Sullivan in the second.
crisp. Terrific long pot. That was more like the one late on against Gary Wilson.
Six. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 6.
Now here's a gift for Mark Williams. Didn't see that one coming. It was quite a precise positional shot, so he put a lot of concentration into the positional side. A shake of the head. It hasn't, I agree with David, hasn't quite settled in at the moment, Ronnie.
Eight. Nine.
The oldest ranking event winner, Ray Reardon, at 50. Of course, Williams won the British Open earlier this season. He's since turned 49. But still, it's true of both. Play a young man's game, don't they? And actually have a sort of
60.
youthful outlook in general.
Seventy.
I must admit, when I heard him interviewed before his first match with Tom Ford, and he was saying he'd been in China playing pool and didn't fancy his chances, I thought he'll play well this week. I'm not saying I thought he'd be in the final, but Mark is one of the great kidders in our sport. I think he was feeling
24.
good when he got here, actually.
25.
Just a hint short of pace, so how does he get the cue ball out of there? Gone deep. No man's
33.
land, it's no good. The yellow would be the only way to continue the break. And again, I know I've said it a few times, he's been aggressive so far. Do expect him to keep his foot to the pedal. Yeah, it's a nasty one with this long bridge. Added to the fact he doesn't have to play it. He's under no pressure to play it.
This is what makes him dangerous, so just the fact he's taking it on, and the fact he gets it, obviously, more so. I'm sure that many people would have done.
36.
He set his stall out, it's very clear. He's good to his word, he said he was going to attack. That's exactly what he's done.
$43. 44.
Maybe he just didn't like the contact there. Still on a red, but didn't quite finish as intended.
51.
Slightly hampered.
$52.
Well, that yellow, he's already a big shot, isn't it, today? I mean, as I say,
59.
not that many would have taken it on or indeed potted it. But not everyone's
60.
like Mark Williams, are they?
$67. $68.
Yeah, taking the yellow on, it's almost like he's saying, I don't care I'm playing Ronnie O'Sullivan. I'm playing the best player ever. I don't care. I'm just going to take on my shots. And by the way, I'll be getting plenty of them. And most people are not like that. We know when you see that man in the
75.
corner facing you, coming next to the table.
76.
He's trying to free that red, but it's
83.
just finished awkward. He's had 4 centuries in the tournament, 3 in the semis.
Here's the underarm shot. Piece of cake, isn't it?
$91.
It's not going to get there.
Mark Williams,
but
91.
A fine
And the
91.
free.
He picked up when O'Sullivan broke down. The family happy so far. Crowd enjoying a terrific start to the final. Williams leads O'Sullivan 2-1. Williams there coming off an O'Sullivan miss. O'Sullivan's
Thank you.
highest break so far, just 40.
Frame 4. Mark Williams to break. Foul and a miss. Mark Williams 4.
Yeah, I think Olivier Martil just checking the pack of reds, the one on the right. He might be able to see that full ball. He can't physically see it full ball. See it there, the one on the right there. If the other reds aren't there, he could see that, I think, full ball.
Mark.
So it's
Thank
worth
you.
noting because Ronnie would be warned if he doesn't make contact this time. Yeah, that solves that problem. funny the way both players' games have developed over the last 30 years. You think back to their early encounters, it'd be all guns blazing on both sides. But now it's a different way, isn't it? Trying to outsmart one another rather than outgun one another.
Holding the rest in the air here. Steady hand needed. Yeah, it was a sort of fiddly way of doing it, wasn't it? It's awkward. Yeah, just on what you were saying there, Alan. I mean, they didn't used to get on, these two, in their 20s, but they were big rivals then. They were younger, weren't they? You know, so much has happened since then. All that's put to one side. There's a lot of respect there. It's just a different sort of challenge as you get older.
Yeah, you don't respect all that many people when you are 20, 21, don't you? Certainly in snooker, you going about your own business in a selfish way. That's, well, it's the best way, isn't it? But how could you not respect one another, these two? So, out with the spider here, because he has to play a little swerve to a bit of left-hand side. Yeah, it wasn't quite on. Yeah, clearly not in stroke yet. I think in part because of, as David said, the way the stall has been set out today. He's finding it difficult to find the rhythm that we're used to. But Mark looks very dangerous. Yeah, he's kind of getting on with it that bit quicker. Very dangerous at the moment. He's the one that looks the most likely.
Well, he's not backing away
Six.
for anything. He hasn't got everything, but his mindset hasn't changed. And I don't think it will all day. He's in again.
7. $14. 15. $22. 23.
Yeah, that was a poor one. Still on one. Cut back.
Third.
Can he hold the cue ball shy of the baulk line?
31.
Yeah, played it with a bit of check, a bit of left. That was a gorgeous little shot. The other thing was he didn't dwell on the disappointment of not being straighter on it. Got on with the job. In the mood today, Willow, no doubt about it.
$36. $37.
He's just so unfussy, isn't he, as a player? Gets round, gets behind each shot, and goes straight away. Beautiful shot again.
44. $45.
Yeah, I think the only thing complicated about Mark Williams are his hashtags on Twitter. If you follow him, you'll know what I mean. There's actually a chap who translates them for people. It's all part
53.
of, I think, the reason he's become such a popular player. Not just a great player, but as a character. People have warmed to him, very down to earth. Left unsafe, which helps
60.
as well. Just a bit of security in case he breaks down, but not much sign of that. He's on top at the moment.
61.
He's going for his shots and he's sort of saying to O'Sullivan, okay, I might have missed, but you're going to have to get yours because I'll be back in. And that's what happened in this frame.
No problem in playing a cannon. Doesn't really want to because looking for one more red. Doesn't want to leave this to chance. Oh, and it's gone wrong, barring a plant. Yeah, that will annoy him. He still has a double if he wants it, but
66.
wouldn't want to take the red off the cushion, so to plant it is big shot, this. Yeah.
Mark Williams, 66.
Well, it's a useful lead, but he's not over the line. 70 in front. There's still a possible 75 on. So these are important early moments in this final. He's annoyed. Very annoyed.
Yeah, the snooker sense of Mark Williams tells him here that he's just made a huge mistake because he knows what Ronnie's like given the chance. He's under a bit of pressure to put this frame away. That'll do it. Great shot.
One.
Yeah, that might be the most important pot so far in some ways, because had he eventually lost that frame, that's an uncomfortable interval for Mark Williams. But as it is, he looks sure to be 3-1 up.
Yes, on that unconventional way that he is. He's not like the modern sportsman where
5.
last night he'd have a protein shake and a salad leaf. It's more a kebab and a can of pop. Game's been popping so far. He's in
12.
command of this final.
13.
Yes, sort of the modern world and social media. A lot of people want to sort of craft an image, don't they, of what they would like people to think they are. He just is who he is. He's Mark Williams from South Wales, son of a miner who has reached the top of his chosen profession. And here we
18.
are
19.
against another legend, 33 years into their careers, still producing the goods. And O'Sullivan with a few things to think about. He's playing someone not intimidated by him, who's going for it today, and so far it's working.
24. 25. 32. 33.
Well, save up the flukes, Mark, for when you might need them. This frame was already over. But just illustrating, really, the degree to which
40.
he's on top. And I think the important stat, really, in some ways, highest break for O'Sullivan, just 40. And he has had quite a few chances. Live pot
42.
success for O'Sullivan down at 81%. That's clearly got to go up.
45.
I think one of the best decisions Mark Williams ever made was a few years ago when he just accepted who he is. He's a snooker player, and that's what I'm going to be for the rest of my career. There was a time when he thought about
49.
hanging up the cue. He made the correct decision. Well, we all know that. But I think it's important for him. The way that he's playing now is part of that. He's just accepted that he's one of the best there ever has been and ever will
54.
be. He's bossing it.
Well, there's a long way to go, obviously. Possible 15 frames remain. But we saw yesterday the way he went off into the distance against Mark Allen. And he holds the
57
early
on the
advantage
frame.
in the final against
Mark
Ronnie
Williams.
O'Sullivan. As the players go to the first interval, it's Mark Williams leading by 3 frames to 1.
5. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Yeah, will the interval bring a change? Reaction from the Rocket. 84% pot success. The stat for that first 4 frames, and more interestingly for me, is average shot time 21 seconds as opposed to Mark Williams 18. So it just shows you Ronnie's not found any of his rhythm so far in this final. I wonder if he can pot this red and flick the red away from the black. He's just bringing the cue ball back to baulk. Yep, he's playing the flick on the red. He got the cannon. But more importantly, he missed the red. What a gift for Ronnie to find that rhythm.
One. Eight. 9.
Good shot. This black's missable though. Cue ball close to the side cushion. Especially raising the butt of the cue in the air as he is. Even down in the cue ball. But that's beautifully cued. It's probably the best shot he's hit all afternoon, actually.
16. 17.
But much like the previous black, there's pressure on this one.
How early shall we go, Phil? That's 3 reds, 3 blacks.
24.
It certainly would be
25.
some way to introduce yourself to this final. Little cannon on the 3 reds. We'll leave 1 to left corner. Decided to go into the main bunch, and that is absolutely perfect. 4 reds, 4 blacks, and if he's on one of these reds to corner, he'll be playing position on the black for the foreseeable future.
$33.
He has compiled a 147 against Williams before. Last 16 of the World Championship in 2008.
41.
No specific prize on offer for a maximum, but
48.
the high break of the tournament so far is 142. And if you make the highest break in the event, you receive £10,000.
49.
That's not a good shot. You could tell by the reaction, the body language. Pretty much dead straight in this black, just off straight the wrong way as well. So,
56.
yes, bit subdued, I think is the right word for Ronnie this afternoon so far. Doesn't look like he's, you know, he's like a coiled spring around the table. Just walking around pretty slowly. Not really got into this final yet. The amount of times when he's on it, the amount of times he finishes straight in the black, I mean, you can count on one hand in a season if he's on it. He took a minute to think of the shot, and it was worth the wait.
$64.
Well, unfortunately, that's the
65.
147 out of the way, but he'll be just concentrating on winning this frame, as I say, trying to get into this final, trying to impose himself on it. Hasn't done so far. It's been all about Mark Williams, really.
70.
After just 6 minutes, though, we've arrived at frame ball.
71.
And this frame, okay, he's made a few misjudgments, but it's been a vast improvement on anything pre-interval for the Rockies.
$78. $79. $86. 87.
He might have won £1,155,000 this season, but he wants
94.
another 10 grand. And who can blame him?
95.
The double way off, but that's just what O'Sullivan required to get the juices flowing. Mark Williams now leads only 3-2.
Thank you. Frame 6. Mark Williams to break.
Mark Williams has come up against O'Sullivan enough to know that the one thing you have to try and protect against is O'Sullivan getting on one of those extraordinary rolls when he wins 3, 4, 5 frames in no time. I came out with a cliche earlier this week in a different context. I'll say it again. Intervals change matches.
Yeah, making century breaks sharpens the focus and gets you interested, gets you enjoying being out there again. Highest break pre-interval was only 40. But winning frames in one visit, that's what inspires you. He's an inspirational player, Ronnie Sullivan. Sometimes he needs like a genius shot or like a century just to get the juices flowing.
5.
Change of momentum will play a huge part in this final. Both players will have their good times when they can reel off 2, 3, maybe 4 frames in a row.
12.
No one does that better than the man at the table.
13.
Could turn this final on its head in 20, 30 minutes.
20. 21. 28.
Mark would have known. He would have expected a reaction
29.
after the interval. He would know that Ronnie wouldn't keep playing the way he was for the whole of this final. So this will be no surprise to him, but it's just a little of this first session, first 8 frame session. It's just a little worrying time for Mark. A little bit lucky there, Ronnie. Didn't play that shot well. Didn't get the red pool in the face.
35.
But even the snooker gods would never upset O'Sullivan.
the split off the blue. You don't want to get it full in the face, and the cue ball's running wild to each side of the table. You're relying on a little bit of luck to be on a red.
42.
He got that little run of the ball, and he's in prime position
43.
to win the frame again in one visit. Another very unlike O'Sullivan positional shot there. Cue ball's kind of in no man's land. Played for the blue.
Stretching with side. Those who clapped in the audience did so from a position of knowledge. That was a good shot.
$46.
Again, I'm not sure, maybe the cushions are playing a little bit lively, because he's overhitting. When he's having to use position off a cushion, I've never seen him overhit so many shots. So the table may be playing a little bit bouncy. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt,
Thank you.
because it's not often he plays
52.
two bad positional shots in a row.
53.
That was beautifully controlled. It may have to play the two reds that are touching each other to the right of the pink. It may play a tiny little cannon on those. Yeah, that's game over.
58.
And, well, you wouldn't bet against second century in a row now.
The red he's looking at will squeeze past the pink, but he was looking for alternatives, just in case.
$65. $66.
Williams worked hard for his 3-1 lead. It's been erased in
72.
15 minutes.
73. $80.
These two first played in the 1994 Welsh Open. That year, John Major was Prime Minister.
81.
Bill Clinton lived in the White House. Nelson Mandela swept to power in South Africa. The world changes, but one constant, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Pods balls.
86.
Yeah,
87.
the phrase "don't poke the bear" springs to mind. Williams winning that first little session 3-1.
$93. $94.
As I said, none of this will come as a surprise to Mark Williams. He would know that in this final, Ronnie O'Sullivan is going to have times like this. Magnificent start to the second mini session from Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's found a gear.
102. $105.
O'Sullivan's 5th century in the tournament, and Williams is an opponent that on 2 occasions he's made
109.
5 centuries against in a single match.
$114. $120.
Snooker's Rolls Royce
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
has left the garage. It's 3-3. With cause for optimism. Still has, I suppose. But he hasn't potted a
Thank you,
ball
Ronnie.
since the restart. O'Sullivan, with
Thank you,
breaks of
frame
102 and
Ronnie O'Sullivan
127,
to break.
has achieved parity in style.
Not sure if the red, it's very close to the black, goes to left corner. If it does, he'll probably play for that one now. No, he decided to play for the one in the open. But he'll be looking to get rid of that red from the black as soon as possible.
5.
And once again, a positional shot using the cushion. He's hit too hard.
That was a big bounce. I was watching in particular.
I would still say he hit it too hard because only for the reason that Ronnie adapts to tables better than anyone I've ever seen.
Thank you.
But it does become really tricky if the table is playing like that. Find that one to
6.
perfection. If that red pots, he may not go into the bunch here. I want to get rid of that red because it's a nuisance. The reason I say might not go into the bunch because it could tie up the black completely. Reds could go towards the black. It's a beautiful angle in the blue to play the split. Yeah, just getting rid of that nuisance red first.
11. $12.
Full power. You'll be very annoyed at that shot.
19.
Again, most un-O'Sullivan-like, that shot.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 19.
Takes his points with that reply to 248. But as Stephen said, aggrieved to leave the table. Williams down quickly to see whether a plant had been left. They might not be set on, but it's certainly makeable. In fact, from behind the pocket, it looks very inviting.
One.
Snookered. Has to be really delicate here. And with awkward bridging as well.
Yellow ball. Mark Williams, 1.
If they start going in on a regular basis, the trophy engraver might be tempted to start work. That was beautifully cued.
Yeah, scoring, heavy scoring.
6.
Sullivan's close to 1,300 centuries. Is his biggest weapon. And pre-interval, he wasn't doing that.
7.
As we've said, 40 was his highest break. 2 centuries since this second mini session started. And it just transforms his game. Along with the score now, his long
14.
potting's come alive. His cue ball's getting more and more precise. A little worrying time in this final for Mark Williams. From being 3-1 up, he
15.
could lose this session in a heartbeat.
Twenty.
Even though he's got a choice of 2 reds, he wasn't happy with how precise that positional shot was. Tends to deal in
21.
millimeters of precision, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
$28. 29.
30.
36. $37. $43. 44.
The frame is over again in no time. Now O'Sullivan can turn to making a hat-trick of
51.
centuries.
52.
By the way, he's done everything in the game, but he's never made 4 in succession. After that,
58.
probably won't be making 3. I've got little faith.
O'Sullivan 59.
A
And the
break
frame.
of 59. Since the interval, Mark Williams has potted 1 ball. Ronnie O'Sullivan now in front at 4-3. Sullivan, 1 frame
Thank you.
left
The
in
final
the
frame of
session,
the
and
session.
what a
Mark
crucial
Williams.
one it is. The chief priority for Mark Williams to stop the rot. Or stop the rocket.
Yeah, we would normally be talking about things like, you know, players 3-1 up, disappointed to be 5-3 behind. Mark Williams, these things don't apply. He just plays the game. Doesn't really think about a lot in terms of what's going on, in terms of score lines and things like that. Just plays. But as I say, a little worrying.
We just saw the points that O'Sullivan scored against Williams since the interval. And during that splurge of scoring, he's improved his pot success rate by 10%. And since the interval, he's been almost flawless. After the barrage he's taken, that was simply magnificent.
Mark Williams 1.
Well, however good Mark's temperament is, that will annoy him. Because it was a beautiful pot to the middle to create that little opportunity. Yeah, you can't afford to be missing blacks off a spot in this company. Mark Williams may have played his last shot in this session. I'll be very surprised if he gets back to the table being able to win this frame. The way Ronnie has gone up a gear since the interval.
9.
Once again, using the cushion, slightly overhit. Shouldn't be a problem.
$16.
I'm not surprised at the hesitation. This is one that could wobble and stay on the table.
17.
It could have done, but it didn't.
think the hesitation was he knew the way he was playing the cue ball, there was a good chance he'd finish straight in the black. He hasn't done. He's done well to keep some sort of angle.
$24. $25. $32. $33.
Another key
38.
pot from mid-distance coming up.
$39. $44. $45. $49.
Just got to be wary of that middle pocket if he's screwing back for the blue here. Yeah, that was
50.
nicely played. It was such a controlled screw shot there. It was almost like a stun rather than a screw.
$55. $56.
Just checking the scoreboard,
63.
realising this again. In super swift fashion, is Frame Ball. You know, in that crowd this weekend, we got some folks from Texas. This is a case of Houston, we have liftoff. The rocket
69.
is in orbit.
70.
Yeah, this has been a devastating burst from Ronnie O'Sullivan.
77.
It's not been his most precise cue ball
78.
in these 4 frames, but he sensed a little bit of danger, 3-1 behind, and it's just gone up a gear.
85.
Tell you what, these two
86.
members of the class of 1992 have not been unduly detained. Cracking session.
$93. $94.
Memorable, magical.
101. 103. $106. 110. 115. 121 on the frame.
Even by Ronnie O'Sullivan standards, that burst was brilliant. 3-1 down, not playing well at the interval. Now, what a total transformation. At the end of the afternoon, he's 5-3 ahead.